Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more reviews like this.
Basically put, this one is the only villain I'm going to expand on that from the Virtual World arc because he actually had some relevance. Well, one of two villains, I should say. Noah Kaiba. I'm just gonna say it straight up. He only appeared in the Virtual World arc, which was anime only. Was the main antagonist, Kaiba's stepbrother. Manipulated Mokuba to betray Seto. Was killed in a freak accident as a child, though the dub says he was comatose.
I've let my emotions go, fuck being a sober hoe.
Gozaburo Kaiba, his birth father, basically uploaded him to a supercomputer in an attempt to save him.
Sure, that went great.
Oh, and here's the fun part. He was technically abandoned by Gozaburo not once, but twice. Yeah, it shows what a good father Gozaburo fucking is. Of course, he eventually redeemed himself by saving Seto Kaiba. Now, before we still discuss Noah, I need to get to Gozaburo, because we need people to figure out just how much of an asshole he is. Stepfather to both Seto and Mokuba, birth father to Noah, a greedy and powerful businessman who basically was also former Kaiba Corp CEO, made lots of military weapons and shit, you know, causing wars and shit to make billions of dollars.
Yeah.
He committed suicide out of shame and humiliation when Seto Kaiba bought Kaiba Corp out from under him. Yes, he committed suicide. We're not going to go with the Dubs version of, oh, he just ran away. No. Because clearly, they show signs of him dying in the anime if you look closely.
Also, didn't Kaiba beat him in chess?
That too,
Yeah.
in order to force Gozaburo to adopt him. And Mokuba. He was eventually found in the virtual world and tried to forcibly seize Seto Kaiba's body despite losing to him fair and square. Yeah, he's an asshole. This is the same motherfucker who was responsible for Kaiba being the way he is, by the way.
But thankfully, at least he got destroyed for good because Noah killed him!
Yeah, pretty much.
Blew it up!
Okay, so thoughts on Noah and Gozaburo Kaiba?
I honestly don't give a shit about either of them, but if anything, the only more interesting character was Noah. And he's just a sad kid who didn't get much chance to live his life.
Yeah.
Very true.
Fuck you for making Seto this way!
Nah. You should be grateful. If Seto wasn't this way, you wouldn't get the cocky asshole that you love.
No, I know, but fuck you!
Let's be honest, Gozaburo let's be honest here, Gozaburo was a fucking child-abusing asshole. And let's not forget that this is the same guy who, again, he's the one that basically gave Seto Kaiba a test to make back, what was it? He was given 1 million yen and was forced to make back 10 times the amount within a year. Kaiba, being the overachiever he is, decided, let's beat that and go for 1 day. So he literally bought out a small company for 1 million and then forced him to sell it back and then forced him to buy it back for 10 times the amount. All within a day. Then eventually seized Kaiba Corp for himself.
Yeah,
because he was tired of Gozaburo shit.
I mean, we all would.
Even going as far as mistreating his own little brother in order to do so. As for Noah, I'm gonna be honest, I feel a little bad for him, but he was still a little shit.
Yeah, he was.
But if anything, he had his reasons. Let's look at his dad.
Yeah, but here's the difference, though. Like, Noah simply wanted to make his dad proud of him, but let's be honest, Gozaburo's an asshole towards children. He shouldn't be allowed to have any. Plain and simply, he should not be allowed to have children.
No.
He must have had a wife or something because Noah was
well,
there, right?
Clearly Noah was the result, and, well, he probably didn't treat his wife well at all.
Oh, jeez, I wonder what happened. Probably either left or fucking murdered for all we know.
Zammy, your thoughts?
I already shared them. Fuck you!
Fair point. Mizuki?
I have nothing to share except for I feel a little bad for Noah as well, but yeah, still he was kind of a
Crossy?
Oh shit, we were talking about Noah as well. Noah's okay, but Gozaburo can go fuck himself.
Yeah,
Fair point.
he can jump up.
I wouldn't have blamed you if you had nothing nice to say about Noah, because let's be honest. The one good thing about Noah I found throughout that arc was literally was that he actually punished one of his own minions for cheating. So he has some sense of fair play. But other than that, welcome. Moving on, since we have nothing more to say about Noah or Gozaboro, and let's be honest, do we have anything good to say about Gozaboro?
No.
No.
He has a nice mustache.
Moving on, we have Darts. Oh.
For those who don't know, he's the main antagonist of the Awakening of the Dragon arc.
Yes, he was the former king of Atlantis.
The king of Atlantis.
He's the leader of Doma. He also was essentially the originator of the Seal Void Calcos, or rather, he served the demon that has the power of the Seal Void Calcos. Manipulated my Valentine alongside God knows how many other people, including his own most loyal soldiers, Raphael, Valen, and Amelda, or Alistair in the dub version. He's been alive for roughly 10,000 years due to the Orichalcos. Was also directly and indirectly responsible for the fall of his own kingdom of Atlantis.
Yep.
He also betrayed his own family in the process, by the way. He also spent roughly 10,000 years stealing souls in order to power the Orichalcos and summon the Great Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
And let's hear this last little fun fact. He also not only hijacked both Industrial Illusions and Kaiba Corp, but also triggered certain events in motion that led to his own soldiers losing everything they ever cared about. All of this to manipulate them into working for him. What can one say about Darts?
Well, I can tell he is a good villain at some parts.
Yep.
If he's that easy to manipulate, if he's easy to manipulate people and shit and give in to what their heart desires and all that shit, and not only that, be able to take down both Industrial Illusions and Kaiba Corp and take it for his own, well.
Yep, he did this within roughly, a month? That's terrifying.
Imagine if he did it in a day.
Hey, he could have. In fact, he's the reason why Kaiba Corp was forced to host that K1 Grand Prix. And as for what he did to his own family, well, he turned his own wife into a demon and basically killed her.
What?
Yep.
I don't remember that.
There was a scene where his wife literally turned into a demon when she was exposed to the power of the Orichalcos.
Yep.
God, it's been so long since I've seen the Wicked of
As for his own daughter and his father, basically were also backstabbed in the process. They had to run for their lives when Atlantis fell. And at one point throughout history, he accidentally ran into Yami Yugi, though Yami Yugi does not remember this.
Bet you never thought you'd see my sinister face again, did you?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Yeah, that's shown in a flashback when he's doing
Yep.
Yami and Kaiba.
Uh-huh. During the time that Yami Yugi was chasing down Thief King Bakura was when Darts went past him, though Darts was basically, concealed and everything, so of course the Pharaoh never knew. But yeah, he also basically tricked my Valentine into working for him because he took advantage of her loneliness.
Season 4 really fucked up Mai. Let's just be real.
Yeah. And as for Darts, let's be honest, as much as he's a master manipulator, I guess even he was too dense to realize he himself was being manipulated. Ha! Your thoughts on Darts? Because I've got pretty much nothing beyond that. Going by the dead silence, there's barely anything to say about him.
Yep.
It's Illuori Kakamalos.
Thing is, it's not that we don't have much to say about Darts. It's just because, well, what can you say? Because given what we hear about him and shit, I just question the shit.
Fair point.
Honestly, I just question his motives is all and stuff. But yeah,
might as well lead this into his most loyal soldiers on this one. Raphael, one of the swordsmen of Doma, or if you want to look at the subversion, the Three Musketeers in Awakening the Dragons.
Yeah.
He was extremely loyal to Darts' cause until he was ultimately betrayed, wanted the absolute few to defeat Yami Yugi in a duel, which cost Yugi his soul, received his guardian deck as a gift from his family, and was separated from said family in a luxury cruise where the boat went directly into a tidal wave. Now, in the sub version, his family disappeared and apparently forgot about him. Wrong! In the original version, his family was actually drowned in the tidal wave.
Yep.
Huh. People drowning in a tidal wave from a ship. Where have I heard this before?
Oh,
Titanic.
no.
Hey.
Moving on from that. Also, he didn't discover the ultimate fate until a couple years later when he found his siblings' bodies, or what was left of them. He found their skulls, by the way.
I don't even have a joke for that one. That's just morbid as fuck.
He found his siblings' skulls.
You see, normally I like to make jokes to lighten up the situation, but not even I have a joke for that one, and I can't make one, and I don't think any of us can, because that's just morbid as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Like a joke right now is just like, Raphael's my favorite Ninja Turtle.
I'm gonna take a guess here. This is where the whole dual spirit thing concept came from long term for, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and onward, because Raphael, to an extent, could communicate with the spirits of his own monsters.
I mean, it makes sense, given how he's got a close heart to that deck of his, especially since it was from his family.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, he treats that deck like it's his own fucking family more than most of the characters in this series, you know what I mean?
Though, to be fair, it's understandable given the circumstances.
Yeah, so if anything, I feel like the spirits can connect with him. Should we all give our thoughts about good old Raphael?
Yeah.
You're evil, Pharaoh.
I'm gonna say this straight up in all seriousness. I feel bad for Raphael because of the shit he went through. Doesn't excuse him from what he did. Don't get me wrong. It's just he's one of those guys you can't help but feel kind of bad for, because this was somebody that lost pretty much everything. Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The way I say twice is because his family was submerged in a tidal wave. He was the only survivor. And for as far as he knew, maybe there was still a chance of finding maybe one of his family members still alive. Nope! Darts had to help him track down what was left of his family, and well, he had no surviving relatives, and it was just his siblings, and well, yeah, the whole thing with his siblings' skulls.
You know what would be really fucked of what Darts to do?
What?
If most of the souls that Darts would have was Raphael's family members.
The thing about that, it was revealed that Darts was pretty much responsible for Raphael's family being drowned in that tidal wave.
So he has their souls, doesn't he?
Probably?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Considering how many he had.
Like, in all honesty, I think it's easy to say that Raphael's had it pretty bad. That poor sap.
Honestly, when it comes to Raphael, and I find this funny, I appreciate Raphael beating Yami, because then we want to get that glorious Kaiba butthurt scene.
Well, we haven't hit rock bottom at all.
Yugi lost a card game!
Yeah?
I thought we had something special, Yugi. What, is our rivalry just one big joke to you? And let me tell you one last thing. All those times I got angry and declared that I would have my vengeance on you, I was faking!
He made it so dramatic, though. That's the thing.
I know he did.
But Kaiba was more pissed off because he never expected Yugi to actually lose. Ever. He saw Yugi as this undefeatable opponent he had to beat. And that someone beat him to it was like the ultimate insult.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, there you go. That's Raphael in a nutshell. I mean, for better or worse, Raphael he's a tough motherfucker, but look what he had to go through to deal with it. If I had to equate anyone from this series to even a quarter of the way to Guts from Berserk, it has to be him.
Honestly, I don't know.
So does that mean he has to get a girlfriend?
No, we are not discussing that.
And I don't think you should really compare any character to Guts.
I'm just saying, if you had to pick anyone who came even a quarter of the way,
I would say Raphael had about 50% because how Guts lost his family is a little more morbid. I'm saying that right now, but I'm not going to get into that. That's going to be safe for the Berserk discussion, so I'm just going to take this PNG of Guts and kick it to the Berserk review.
Anyways, next one is Alistair.
Alistair from Has Been Hotel?
No, I wish. Basically, or Amelda, if you want to look at the subversion. Basically put, he hates Seto Kaiba for multiple reasons. Mostly connected to Seto's father, Gozaburo. He blamed Gozaburo for basically the death of his little brother. Not disappearance, death.
You know what's funny?
Yep.
What?
I had a lot of people tell me when they first saw Alistair, they thought he was a chick.
You would not be the only one, and I doubt you'd ever be the last. Long story short, he grew up in a war-torn country, and basically put, guess who was supplying the weapons on both sides of the conflict in his home country?
Fucking Gozaburo.
Yeah, only turned out to be Darts much later on.
Yep.
A war-born country. He would be great in Code Geass.
Oh my god.
Basically put, believes in the whole sins of the father concept because he sees Seto Kaiba as his scapegoat for the actions of his stepfather Gozaburo, even though Seto was not in control when this happened, back when Kaiba Corp was still a weapons development company. Basically put, his younger brother was killed when a tank exploded.
Lelouch Britannia, he's not.
No. That means he would actually have to win a duel in his case. He hasn't. The first time was a draw.
I find it weird how... Yeah, I find his first duel weird how he was disguised as Pegasus for a bit, and then he just later...
Oh, God, yeah.
Pretty much.
What I find it weird was, how was he able to change decks so quickly from the Toon deck to his...
I think he mixed the Toon cards in and probably stacked the deck.
Most likely.
He challenged Kaiba twice, and the first result was a draw. Second one was basically a loss.
Yeah, because the first one never got really finished.
I should also point this out for the record. His hatred for Kaiba, specifically the whole family, was so fucking strong that when Kaiba gained the upper hand in the duel while on the plane, he absolutely refused to end his turn just so he could force the plane to nosedive and crash.
He's butthurt.
Butthurt.
Mostly the Three Musketeers don't impress me.
Well, to be fair, Raphael is one dangerous motherfucker, hon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen his deck, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm at a loss how the hell he makes it work.
I mean, the most interesting is Raphael. Like, the other two can just go fuck off.
To be fair, Valen is not a half-bad character in his own right, and we'll get to him in a second.
He's not a half-ass character. He has reasons, but at the same time, the other two can just go fuck off.
But let's focus on Alistair for a minute.
Fine.
I really don't have much to say on Alistair.
He's a very angry boy. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I mean, I get his reasons, but goddamn, dude, hold the butthurt a bit. Why don't you?
Yeah, no kidding.
Butthurt.
Okay,
yeah, pretty much. I figured.
I shouldn't really make jokes that he's butthurt, but the way he's acting is kind of more butthurt than just petty revenge.
Okay, so Valen. Basically, okay, if you had to pick anyone from Yu-Gi-Oh! To be anything remote like Yusuke or Meshi for Yu Yu Hakusho, it's Valen. And here's why.
It's Valen.
He basically was a delinquent who always got into fights, like Joey. He was Joey's biggest rival for quite a while. He was literally responsible for my joining Doma. And he used to live with a nun at a church, though eventually the church was set on fire. Well, and supposedly the nun was inside when this happened. Though that scene was removed in the dub, but yeah, the church was set on fire. He ended up in prison after he savagely beat up some thugs who were hired to force the nun to leave the church she was staying in. No joke. He beat them up so badly, some of them were put in comas. That's why he ended up in prison. Aggravated assault.
Wow.
However, what he doesn't know was that Darts was actually the one directly responsible for his church being burnt down. And in the dub, now, according to the dub, Darts framed him for this. But that's not true. Dart simply burned down the church and basically led Valen into, the chain of events that led him to, where he was.
Yeah.
Dueled Joey in a literal clash of fists in an effort to gain Mai's affection, then to save her from herself. That's Valen in a nutshell. He's got possibly the most violent background of the three.
Honestly, I have to say about Valen, he's kind of one of the coolest characters ever, and the reason I say that is because I find his deck is not great in real life to me, but I find it more amazing in the anime, given how he's literally fighting the fucking monsters and shit. That kind of It's like if if a trainer actually decides to fight a fucking Pokemon with their fists to catch him.
And technically speaking,
or maybe like Marcus when he punches Agumon in Digimon.
You know what? That's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's fucking dead accurate. Oh yeah, doesn't say me like Marcus now that I remember.
I have a feeling that's where the Marcus was inspired by.
Or as that one guy from Everything Wrong with Yu-Gi-Oh said, he's Dan from Bakugan.
Oh, and also a little fun fact: he beat the unholy shit out of both Rebecca and Duke Devlin by himself. Oh, and here's the fun part: he didn't use the Seal Void Calcos. He held back on them twice over. Oh, right. I forgot. There was one picture that we can get used from to show Joey and his clash. For better or worse, Valen was, if nothing else, he was very similar to Joey in a number of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
If I had to be completely honest, the vibes I get from Valen, he's very anti-hero-like.
You wouldn't be wrong to think that. I mean, he's not really much of a villain per se. He's definitely more anti-hero or just, very, how do I put this? He's definitely in it for himself mainly. He's loyal, don't get me wrong, he's loyal to Darts, but not to the extent that Raphael was.
Wait, I have a question. Did we ever talk about My Valentine, or did I overskip?
We have not talked about it yet. We were actually going to move on to that.
Okay.
In a minute.
Because I don't know if she counted as a protagonist or antagonist or
no, she was what you call a deuteragonist, which was basically playing both sides on that one, which is technically what she did.
Okay, never mind. Continue.
But yeah, honestly, if I'd say one thing about Valen, he's definitely at least he's definitely one of those hot-blooded people with extreme conviction, much like Raphael. He's hot-blooded, but he's also, I guess you want to say, loyal to someone rather than something.
If I have to be honest, though, I feel like when it comes to the dub, they could have eased up his fucking accent a bit.
Let's be honest, I was not a fan of his accent. They were trying really hard with him.
Yeah, they were trying way too hard on his voice. You could have given him a cool different voice, but no, you were trying way.
Any other thoughts on Valen? Because I got nothing.
I like Valen.
Meh.
Valen Victorian.
Oh my god, Justin!
Anyway, Zemi, what about you?
Not really.
Fair enough. I think we can all agree Valen's an okay character at best.
I really need to get a checkbook.